Hello, everyone. Welcome to our first Austral Group webinar. My name is Gabriela Davila, and I am a program manager here at Austral Group. And our guest speaker today is Xia Bing, VP of International Business at Malong Technologies. It's an artificial intelligence firm based in China. A little background about Austral Group, just so you know, we are an educational services firm that organizes international study programs and consulting experiences for MBA and executive MBA in Argentina, Brazil, Chile, Colombia, and other destinations, including the US and Silicon Valley, where I am right now. So let's get started. First, just to check the chat window on your right, I would like to know where you are watching us from. Oh, Santiago de Chile, Peru, Buenos Aires, Boston, São Paulo. Wow, we have people spread throughout the continent. That's great. You will be able to watch this webinar in real time. The chat window on your right is available for your comments and interaction, okay? And we also have a poll, an encuesta en español, or pesquisa en português, on the right side of the screen. Maybe you can see it. Please take a moment to answer a couple of questions that we have for you regarding artificial intelligence. If you have any questions for the speaker, guys, please write in the questions window. And after the presentation, we will do a Q&A, and Xia Bing will answer as many questions as possible. Okay, and just a reminder that this webinar is being recorded. After it's concluded, you will receive an email with a link to watch it again at any time, and you can forward to your colleagues that missed this webinar as well. I will now pass the microphone to Xia Bing.
Okay, thank you, Gabby. Thanks for the introduction. Hello, everyone. My name is Xia Bing, and I'm VP of Malong Technology. It's really my honor and pleasure to be here today and to talk to you about artificial intelligence, how the stuff that we're doing in China and the impact that we're making. So without further ado, I will start, jump right into my presentation. So here's the agenda today. I'll first start by giving a little background of Malong Technologies, what we do. And then I'll walk through some application scenarios, how we are empowering the traditional industries with the power of AI. And then, of course, we jump a little bit into the technology behind all this. It's called deep learning, and what is the latest trend and how we are using these technologies. And then after that, we'll do a little recap of and sharing where the opportunities are for countries like Brazil and other countries, developing countries in particular, in Latin America. So first about our company. We call it Malong Technologies. On the screen, you will see these two gentlemen. They are the two co-founders of our company, one American, one Chinese. And actually, we name our company after their names. So it's Matt and Bing Long. So it's a combination of that. The majority of our founders and team members came from Microsoft Research Asia, Google, Austral, and a number of top labs from the world. And as you've seen, we have been winning a winner of a lot of the world level competitions, including the latest Google CVPL Web Vision, which is a really difficult challenge for us. And we're established in 2014, and we've been doing artificial intelligence, in particular computer vision and product recognition, in the past 3 years. And also more and more, you will see Malong Technologies coming out of China to the rest of the world. We're really proud that we represented China at the G20 Young Entrepreneurs Alliance Summit this year, actually in Germany, and we were a winner in the competition there. Again, we do take part in a lot of competition and we win a lot of them. So that's about our company. But what do? We do AI. And I'm here to tell you that we think AI is here today. We think AI is now very feasible. It can be applied to. It no longer lives in the science fiction anymore. It is actually impacting our day-to-day life. And in China, there's a lot of sayings about that. AI is equivalent to the fourth industrial revolution. From the slide, you can see that we have been through the all four agriculture, industrial, information, and each of this industrial revolution leads to the next. So the information revolution actually gave us a lot of the foundation that enables the current stage of intelligence, including the digital infrastructure, the computing power that we needed, and also the huge amount of data that is available to us. So we do see now we are going into the fourth phase of this revolution, represented by intelligence. So I'm going to tell you a little of the scenarios that we already seen, and some of them we're already working on and providing solutions, just to give you an overview look of what AI is doing and how much impact it's having on our society. The first scenario we'll start with is, of course, that you hear story about this all the time. It's AI plus driving. We know a lot of humans are terrible drivers, and we believe, from a technology point of view, auto driving vehicles will be available in the next 3 to 5 years. But of course, there's a lot of different things like the regulations and moral issues that needs to be further discussed. But from our technological perspective, the technology is ready, and we will be able to build auto-driving cars that are better than human drivers within the next 3 to 5 years. Another great area that we're seeing more and more application is the healthcare industry. And personally, and also as a company, we believe this is one area that is going to have a huge impact on the human society. So for example, my company, Malone Technology, we're working with the local government of Shenzhen, which is the home city to us, on a number of medical applications. One of to help doctors to diagnose lung cancer. One interesting fact about lung cancers is that if it can be discovered at an early stage, you only need to go through a very minor operation to detect it. But the problem is, people who go to hospital and take X-ray images of their lung, that's very easy. But the challenging part is we don't really have that many doctors with the relevant skill sets to be able to tell from the image that if you have lung cancer or potential for lung cancer or not. So this creates a huge opportunity that if we can actually train a computer to do the task, then every time you go to hospital for a checkup, it's very cheap. You can just take an image, and then the diagnosis will be able to tell you, how likely that you have the disease, and then we'll be able to discover most of the disease at a very early stage, and then millions of lives will be saved. So we're really excited about this project, and really looking forward to having some of the real-day applications that can start saving lives. Another scenario is in the agricultural industry. At Malone, we believe that it's important that we put the power of AI to the majority of the people. So agriculture industry, one of the most traditional industry, is actually something that we're looking at. The case that we're looking at right now is a Japanese application that actually use computer vision to sort cucumbers of various sizes into different categories. And interesting, we're also doing some similar projects with one of the largest avocado grower in Peru, and we're doing the same thing. We're helping them to use computers to classify different quality levels of avocados, and also it is very useful in the packaging and sorting scenario. So it's really amazing to see that AI can have impact on such one of the oldest industries. And of course, AI plus security. Face recognition is probably one of the most talked about application. In China, you see already we can go into shops and restaurants and we can pay with our face. You know, your face become your identity, and this technology really enables us to be able uh, to use face recognition products to provide better services and security. Of course, also in China, a lot of the police force and for business and for consumer, they're starting to use face recognition as a security method. A number of companies in China now check in into the office with the face. So you'll be very interested if you have a chance to go to China and see the application there. And AI plus retail. This is actually one of the focus area of Malone Technology. We are now working with some of the world leading retailers about how can we improve, shopping experience by skipping the checkout lines and with AI and computer visions. I'm sure you all heard of the Amazon Go scenario. So it is not yet fully available yet, but we are getting there, and we're working with some of them to provide solutions on that. And also very interesting about AI is that it doesn't just be able to see what human can see. It can also see things that human cannot see. So for example, package scanning. We're working in China. This is also a very heavy application. In every subway station in China, there is a X-ray scanning machine. We scan baggage for security reasons. But this is also a very boring and tiring work to do. If you ask human to watch all these images, and people get tired, and they sometimes they don't want to, they leave something pass by, and that could be a threat to all of us. So what we provided is that we're able to train computer to see these X-ray images and to be able to tell most of the items that needs to be recognized. And we're not replacing the human. There's still a man there, still people there, but it's just that we will be able to screen everything. And if we see something that looks suspicious, we will inform the people, and the human will come over and double check. So that really helps to increase the efficiency and then also the security of the entire industry. And another interesting application is at this microscopic level, the fiber analysis. I'm not sure if you know, like if you watch your clothes, you'll say there's a tag in your clothes that says this is 70% cotton or 30% something. Actually, how do you hear me? Okay. Yeah. Right. So in China, there's an organization called China Textile Information Testing Center. These people will hunch over microscopes and they will test samples supplied by the Chinese fabric manufacturers. And these people actually, they will count the fibers and decide that number. This is 70% cotton. And it's very costly and it's very slow. It takes on average 5 years to train a person to be able to do this task. But now with our technology, we'll be able to do the same thing, actually at a higher performance. We do achieve a higher accuracy than average human testers, and we can do it at a very, very quick and large scale. So now I think that really puts Chinese textile industry in a very advantaged position, because now we can, instead of sampling fabrics, we can test everything. And then you can be assured that the Chinese fabrics will have a higher quality, because we can basically test everything with our technology. So again, that's a very solid example of how we can increase not just efficiency but also quality of certain industries. AI plus textile. I'm going to show you a video of how we use this to help designers to find fabrics. One of the challenges in the fabrics industry is that it is really difficult to describe a pattern in language. So we came up with this. So I'm going to show you a video. So in this video, actually, we're demonstrating this with one of our biggest customers. this website is the largest fabric commercial website in China. So you see, with our technology, you can actually just upload a pattern, and the system can find exactly the same or the most similar. It also works with real fabrics. You can just take a picture, and then we'll search the database of our client and find the matching pattern or the most similar patterns. So this is very helpful because for designers, usually it takes hours or even days to find a fabric. Now it's done in seconds. Another scenario is the fashion industry. So for this, I'm going to show you another video that shows that how we use these technologies. Okay, seems I think there's a problem with the video, but we might send the link of the video later so you can see how we're using this technology to revolutionize and improve efficiency and quality into the fashion industry. So those are just a overview of the scenario on the list. We believe there are a lot of cases that we can use AI, but to get you better understood of what's going on behind all this, I'm going to talk just a little bit about the technology behind. The keyword is really called deep learning. So so the computer vision, you might wonder why all of a sudden a lot of these AI companies come out. It is actually because of deep learning. See this chart just a little bit before 2017, 2013, the majority of method that was used is called pattern recognition. But with the invention of deep learning, we see a trend of going up and using more and more of this technology to solve problems. And our company is actually just established right before the deep learning became popular. And what deep learning can do is very simple. We have some very simple tasks, but the combination of this power can solve a lot of the long-standing issues. So what we can do basically is we can detect an object in a photo. Given the photo, it can tell you whether there's a dog in there, and then how to we can draw a box. We can tell where in the picture is the dog. We can even draw the outline of the exact object that we're detecting. And also you can see the reason that we claim that AI is available today is because really it has surpassed human level performance in the recent years, and that's a majority of that is because of this deep learning techniques. So and Malone, we actually go further deeper into that. We're working on something called semi-supervised deep learning. That is a very technical term. I know I'm running on over time, so probably I'm not going to the details, but if you're interested in the technical details, the exact technology that makes it work, probably we can follow up later on that. So key takeaways, the AI is here, and AI is the fourth industrial revolution. You should be thinking of AI because it's going to have a huge impact on your business. And second point is we want to make the statement that AI is not just for tech companies. The AI can transform traditional industry, and that's exactly what we want to achieve. We want to be able to deliver that power to developing countries, to traditional industries, and make AI work for your business. And lastly, we believe this is just the beginning. We're just at the verge of this revolution, and we think the majority of the opportunity lies within how we can apply AI and how to make AI useful in other industries, in traditional industries, and making sure that people get smarter with that. So with that, that's my presentation, and on the screen that's my email. I'm happy to take questions for now, and I'm happy to receive email from you and to hear what you think about AI. So thank you for listening, and thank you for your attention.
That's great, Xiaobin. Thank you so much. We now have some questions from the participants. Manuel Nunez from Scotiabank would like to know what would be the use of artificial intelligence for audit bank processes, such as digital transformation?
Well, first is that my company is not fully focused on the optimization problems, but I can tell you what is going on right now in China. For example, like banks in China are now replacing data analysis with AI. For example, like when you announce when you need to make a decision on whether to give a loan to a particular person or a company, the AI will be able to read through, to learn through huge amount of data and come up with a much more reliable decision than usually a human can make. So I hear figures that the accuracy, like the default rate dropped by 8 times because of the usage of AI. So yes, that's one of the industry that will have a very huge and also very direct impact.
Yes, for sure. And we have another question from Andres Barriga. He would like to know, what applications do you know of artificial intelligence and data for retailers besides product recommendations and fraud detection?
Uh, well, like recommendations of fraud detection is one big thing. I mean, we're starting to see a huge adoption of computer vision technology in many retail cases. For example, we're working with one of the largest retailer in the world of solving the problem of the at the checkout point. Like nowadays, you still need barcodes. People need, when you buy anything, you need to go to this checkout point and scan barcodes, which is slow and takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of human to do it. It's a cost to the customer and also to the business owner. So we are coming up with solutions that actually can cut that, and the computer will be able to recognize a product without seeing the barcode, and then automate the whole process. You just need to show what you bought, and then you're ready to go. There's no need for barcode scanning anymore. So just one concrete example that we are working on retailers.
Yes, the experience for the shopper becomes much more seamless, right? And also, if you include the last path of the purchase, the payment, also with artificial intelligence, then it's the perfect shopping experience.
Yep, absolutely.
Perfect. Well, Vanessa would like to know, according to your experience, which is the business sector that has adopted artificial intelligence in the most successful way, and for what in a company digital strategy? What do you think it was a successful adoption?
Well, honestly, first is that I think all industries are still at a very early stage of adopting AI. But those who has seen most success are those industries that with most ready infrastructure. By saying that, I mean data usually. So if you like banking, banking sector has been very successful in adopting uh, artificial intelligence because it has a very solid foundational infrastructure of digital data. And also online e-commerce companies. These companies we work a lot with, they already have huge amount of data and images available. They just need someone to be able to help them to unlock the treasure. But that's not. But surprisingly, let me tell you, the textile and fabric industry in China is surprisingly a very successful adopter of AI technology. And actually, we found it very interesting that the data that we got from them are actually higher in quality than you would expect from e-commerce companies. So that's why we think it's very interesting to tap into not so traditional industries that we think are digital or technology related. In fact, like the example that I just get, the China textile testing center, the factory distributors in China, they are benefiting a lot, and they are giving us surprisingly high quality data. So something for you to think about.
Yes, that's excellent. And here is also where human creativity plays a role in understanding the technology and applying it in the right way, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay. And another question from Bernardo: How AI is impacting the education sector. How are you working with universities to help designing the future careers? I mean, yes, go ahead.
Yes, well, I'm very glad that you asked the question. Actually, I was chatting here, and we were talking about this problem with the education, and I think that's actually quite relevant to the group of audience here. In China right now, there's a huge demand for AI talents, and this industry is developing so fast that actually, it's become difficult even for university to define what do you mean by AI. So last week actually we were in the APAC meetings in Da Nang, and we had a meeting, a dialogue with some leading university leaders from the Asia Pacific region, and we're talking about how do we create solutions to meet this digital skill challenge that is facing all of us. So we think there's a very important role that the companies can play. For example, for us, we are now partnered with the Tsinghua University, one of the best top university in China, and we have co-created a research lab in Shenzhen where they can actually send a lot of the PhD students, and they will become our interns, and we will work on real day and the first line AI challenges. The industry is developing so fast. If you're not working on the latest AI problems, you're working on, if you're using techniques from a year ago, you're way out of date. So I think there's a huge challenge right here, but also it requires university and governments and business like us to cooperate and working in very close partnership to meet. So it is going to have a huge impact, and I'm glad that I'm glad to say that Malone is happy to offer our help with this.
That's very, very important, very strategic, these partnerships between companies and universities. And do you see AI being implemented mostly, or at least firstly, in small businesses or larger corporations? Is there any difference? How do you see that?
Well, our experience is really, it doesn't really matter if you are big or small. Like, in our opinion, AI is like the new electricity. I mean, everybody will be able to benefit from that. It doesn't matter if you're big or small, because you don't really have to like big companies may, if you think of AI, big companies may have their own team to work on AI. There are AI suppliers like us. We can supply AI to you. That's why we exist, and that's why we want to help. We don't need to work with Google, but we want to help traditional industry and small SMEs being able to access to the power of AI. It's like if you are a big company, you'll be able to generate electricity by yourself. But if you are a small company, you can easily buy electricity from other suppliers, and it will be available. That's our vision, and I really don't see a challenge for SMEs to actually pursue using of AI, and I highly encourage you that you do so.
Perfect. Everyone, would you have any other questions? If you have one final question, you can post here in the questions chat window. Feel free to ask anything. Oh, I see one last question. With this new vision, considering AI will change the economy and all, which type of master do you recommend for someone that has a business mind?
Could you repeat that again, please?
With this new vision, considering AI will change the economy and all, which type of master do you recommend for someone that has a business mind?
When you say master, meaning a major in the university? Is that?
Let me check. Roberto Hageman, is that what you mean? Master as a degree, specialization? Yes.
Okay. Well, like I said in my presentation, I think the biggest opportunity is not with the AI industry itself. It's actually with the application of AI. And to apply AI, you don't have to be a data scientist or a computer scientist to do that. The biggest challenge right now, actually, we see it is how, for example, like the fashion industry, what we need is not more data scientists. We need fashion designers. We need fashion designer that understand AI, and then they can help us find the problem with that industry and help find out solutions. So I would say to your question, um, if you are want to do hardcore AI and technology, of course you should go to data scientists and computer science. But I will argue that actually there are more opportunities out there, every industry that you could possibly think of. Key is really to keep an open mind and be aware that any industry will have the chance of being revolutionized by AI. You need to be the expert in certain industries, and then you need to have a mindset of AI, and then you'll be making a huge impact in that industry. So
Yes.
that would be my advice.
Great advice. Thank you. And how much investment would it be needed to incorporate AI in a business? Is there a ratio or something to give me an idea of how much investment is needed? Which would be the benefit of implementing AI versus the cost? This is a question from Felipe.
Okay. They're very two different things. If you want to do AI yourself, it's going to be, let me tell you, it's going to be very costly. For two reasons. First is that you need the top talents to do that. And if you want to do AI yourself, then you are talking about competing with Google, with Amazon, with Microsoft on the top talents. Because there are only, right now in the world, there are only so many people that can do it. And these companies are paying huge money to get them to work. So as a matter of fact, I learned that even some of the biggest European companies like Siemens, like GE, they are having issues of hiring the right AI talent. So if you are talking about doing AI yourself, that is going to be a huge cost. But I think, like I said, AI is going to be the new electricity. You don't have to generate electricity yourself in order to use it. I would suggest that you can follow companies like us. We actually do offer some very, very easy to use and ready to go solutions. You can it really depends how much your usage, and it can be very small and very cheap. So I would encourage you to consider AI more as a tool and some services provided by other companies, as opposed to something that you have to thinking of developing from scratch in your company. I would not recommend you do so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you for the advice. Well, we could go on with this debate, super interesting topic, but unfortunately our time is up. The remaining questions will be directed to Xiaobing, and you will receive an email with the answers soon. Okay, we will just collect the questions and prepare the answers. Xiaobing, thank you so much for sharing your expertise with us in this webinar. Very insightful. And thanks everyone for your participation. I hope you have enjoyed it. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
It's been a pleasure. Bye-bye.
Bye.